Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the Fuse so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another beer review. Continuing to review cheap beer that was left behind in my fridge during NFL playoffs this season. Today we're going to check out Coors Banquet in a cool little 1936 per the label stubby bottle. Look at that thing. It's a little 12-ounce serving. Coors Banquet I have had one time in my life. Let's see here. I think it was 3 years ago. Our family rented an RV. We had to drive up north for some family get-together. I can't remember what it was now, but we rented an RV. My brother-in-law, Lane, and I were obviously not driving. We were passengers, and the RV had a restroom, which was amazing. And we had a crazy bottle share. We called it the Highway 5 bottle share. And when we left, there was all kinds of traffic through LA. It took us forever to kind of get through LA. And then when we got over the Grapevine, we had to stop and get gas. And by that time, we had drank a ton of beer. And we were hammered. And we stopped to get food. I don't even remember what we got, but I ran into a gas station and I decided the best idea was to buy a tall can of Coors Banquet because I'd never had it. But when I drank it, I don't really recall drinking it because I had drank so much before that. So that's the only time I ever had the beer. Couldn't tell you what it tastes like, anything. It's funny because growing up, my dad was a Coors Light drinker. So when anytime like at parties in high school, if we ever shoulder tapped somebody or someone had an ID and someone went to get beer, I would always just ask for Coors Light because like that's what my dad drank. That's what I was going to drink. So I've drank hundreds of Coors Lights in my life, but only one Coors Banquet. So let's check her out. I think this beer is 5%. This one's actually a little bit darker. We literally just drank Miller High Life, if you guys watched that review. This one might be a little bit darker, but it's that super clear beer looking color, straw yellow. The head doesn't seem as bright white, but it's fluffy. It's half a finger. Tons of little bubbles. Looks awesome that behind the bar glassware. So, I've been having fun drinking these cheap beers. Maybe this will be a thing from now on. Wow, this one, so the other beers, like I've been saying, they're just like that kind of generic beer smell. This has that, but this has something that's way different than all the other beers we've drank. I don't know if it's a sweetness or if it's like, I can't tell what that is. What is that? It's got that musty thing, but it's like sweet musty, which is weird. And it's got that like wet papery, smells like old style had like that kind of wet cardboard thing. Yeah, it's like there's something that's there that I can't tell what it is, but let's taste it. Cheers. Being that I just drank Miller High Life, I feel like this is less flavorful than that one, even though the alcohol is a little bit higher. That weird thing that I was smelling, you don't taste it. I don't know what that is. It's like a weird sweetness, like some sort of like weird candy or something. I guess that sweetness kind of carries over, but again, this has that grainy. I mean, all these beers kind of taste the same. I don't know how, like, when it comes to cheap beers like this, how do people discern like their favorite? Is it just like what they know, what they remember, like what was around when they were growing up? Like that's kind of like I was a Coors Light drinker because my dad was a Coors Light drinker. Is that just kind of like what you pick? Is it what you can afford? Like, I don't think there's, and I'm gonna have to do like some sort of like battle beers and not know which is which to kind of really see if you can tell a difference. I don't know how to discern the difference between these beers. I don't know how people pick favorites. I kind of just think it's what's around you, what you grew up seeing on the shelf, and like what you can afford, to be honest with you. I'm not mad at this beer either. It's not offensive at all. The carbonation's nice. It doesn't leave any kind of like weird aftertaste. It's crisp, it's clean, it's refreshing. Again, this is a beer on a hot day if you're gonna chug it out mowing the lawn. I know I feel like I'm saying the same things in these reviews, but there's really not a lot to these beers. It's just, it's got that generic beer smell and it's got that kind of generic beer taste. There's nothing offensive. There's nothing crazy about it. It's fine. There is something weird about, I don't want to say weird, but there's something different about the smell of this. That's all I'll say that's different than the other ones. I guess for me, like, do you really care about calories when it comes to beer? I would rather drink Coors Light just because, what is the calories in this? 150 calories in this little bottle. I think Coors Light's like 95 calories. Like, you can drink 2 of those and have the same as this. It's like when you're thinking the way I think as a former overweight person who kind of pays attention to what I'm, eating and drinking. When you're going to drink your calories, you might as well drink light beer. It doesn't taste much different than this, I don't think. So, but I'm not mad at this beer. It's not offensive. It's fine. It's Coors Banquet. It's been around since, what does it say, 1936? Had to have been before that, right? Maybe that's just when these little stubby bottles were out. But another cheap beer review in the books. Coors Banquet. You guys fans of this one? I don't hate it. Not mad at it at all. You know what I need to do? I need to go out and get a 40 of Mickey's and drink that, because when I was a poor college student working midnight shifts at Home Depot, 40s of Mickey's were $1.49 or something, like $1.39, somewhere around there. I would buy 2 of them at the CVS that was across from the Home Depot that I worked at, and I would drink them after I got off work, and I used to love that shit. It's been so long since I've had that, though, so I'll have to check that out. I'm having fun drinking these cheap beers, so if that offends you, I'm sorry. You don't have to watch them. So that's it. I'm out here, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you very soon. Cheers.
Ever since I was younger, I was into video games.
Somebody like the Fuse, so I can bring bad news to all these crews who can't NBA jam with the shoe.